Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. The Congress party has said the government was trying to choke its finances after tax authorities served a demand notice of 1,700 crore rupees. At a press conference, senior leader Jairam Ramesh said it will not scare the party and vowed to aggressively campaign for the national elections. The demand notice came after the Delhi High Court dismissed petitions against the notices. In February, tax authorities said the party's tax returns were deemed to be incorrect and wanted 200 crore rupees. Reports said the tax tribunal asked the party to pay up the outstanding amount and ordered a freeze on some of its bank accounts. The Congress described the move as an attack on democracy, as it came just before the elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the main opposition Congress party have made sharp attacks on each over the working of the country's judiciary. The clash comes after hundreds of lawyers expressed concern in a letter to the Chief Justice of India about political pressure in cases involving high-profile politicians. Prime Minister Modi said in a social media post that bullying was a culture of the Congress party. In reply to the charge, the leader of the Congress party, Mallikarjun Kharge, recalled an unprecedented press conference by the country's top judges in 2018, who said an independent judiciary was essential for a functioning democracy. On social media, Kharge accused Prime Minister Modi of seizing the powers of institutions and weakening the country. Jailed Indian gangster and politician Mukhtar Ansari has died, which prompted a security alert in parts of Uttar Pradesh state. His family claimed he was given slow poison at the district jail in Banda, where he served time for many years. Charges against him include possession of a machine gun and the killing of a BJP lawmaker. Emerging from a career in crime, Ansari was elected 5 times as a lawmaker in the state's legislature, where he represented the Bahujan Samaj Party. Ansari had 61 criminal cases against him, 15 of them related to murders in the state. In the 1980s, he joined a gang, and 10 years later, he started his own. The gang operated in the districts of Mao, Ghazipur, Varanasi, and Jaunpur, where it engaged in kidnapping and extortion. The United Nations has said people's civil and political rights should be protected in countries that are holding elections. According to reports, a spokesperson for Secretary General Antonio Guterres made the comment to a question on the upcoming elections in India. In her daily briefing on Thursday, Stefan Dujarric said, "Everyone should be able to vote in an atmosphere that is free and fair." This week, the United States and Germany commented on the arrest of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and called for a fair, transparent and timely legal process. The Indian government summoned the envoys of both countries and dismissed their remarks as interference in its internal matters. India's general elections, said to be the world's largest, kick off on April 19. Christians in India and around the world observed Good Friday and attended church services. Christians believe Jesus Christ died on the cross for humanity so that they could be saved from their sins. Some of the faithful observe a fast and refrain from non-essential food and activities during the day. The Holy Week, as it is known, culminates in Easter, which marks the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Good Friday is a time for Christians to consider what Jesus accomplished for mankind and the significance of his death. There are variations in Good Friday customs around the globe that are indicative of the diversity of Christianity in terms of culture and religion. A public holiday marks the event in India and in dozens of countries. In a first-time collaboration, Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries has acquired a 26% stake in a power project of Gautam Adani's Adani Power Limited in Madhya Pradesh. Reliance will acquire 5 crore equity shares in Mahan Energen, a subsidiary of Adani Power, and utilize 500 megawatts of generation capacity for its own use. The firms have entered into a 20-year power purchase agreement. The agreement was signed this month and the transaction's completion is subject to customary conditions and necessary approvals. Mahan Energen, a power generation and supply company, had turnovers of over 2,700 crore rupees in the last financial year. The investment is expected to be completed within 2 weeks after all conditions are met. It remains unclear where Reliance intends to use the power from this project. The International Court of Justice has unanimously ordered Israel to allow unhindered aid into Gaza to prevent a famine. The court's decision follows warnings of an imminent famine in the enclave. Israel has denied allegations of blocking aid and blamed Hamas for the situation. The ICJ ruling comes after South Africa requested the court to reinforce an order issued to Israel in January to prevent genocidal acts in Gaza. A recent report warned that all 2.2 million people in Gaza face acute food insecurity, with famine expected to hit the north of the territory by May end. The ICJ stated that Israel must ensure the provision of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance. Israel has dismissed the broader case brought against it under the Genocide Convention as baseless. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk issued a stark warning that Europe has entered a pre-war era and that no one can feel safe if Russia defeats Ukraine. He told European media that war is no longer a concept from the past, but it is real, and it started over 2 years ago. His comments came as Russia pounded Ukraine with a new wave of missile strikes and NATO planes scrambled to protect Polish airspace. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 26 missiles and 58 drones were brought down, and Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said 6 regions had suffered damage to their energy infrastructure. Poland's concern comes after Russia blamed Ukraine for the gun attack on a concert hall in Moscow last week. At least 36 people were killed in airstrikes in Syria, with reports attributing the attack to Israel. Reports said the strikes in Aleppo targeted weapon stores used by Hezbollah, the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported dozens injured, and the death toll could be as high as 38, including Hezbollah fighters, civilians, and Syrian military personnel. Israel, which has launched hundreds of strikes on Syria since the civil war began in 2011, did not comment on the reports. The frequency of strikes has increased. The war broke out in Gaza. Hezbollah has also been launching rocket attacks against Israel from southern Lebanon. The Syrian Defense Ministry reported that the airstrikes coincided with drone attacks in Aleppo by unidentified terrorist organizations. A bus crash in South Africa has resulted in the death of 45 people amid an increase in travel ahead of Easter. The bus was carrying pilgrims from Botswana to a church service in Moria when it lost control and fell off a bridge in Limpopo province. The only survivor, an 8-year-old girl, was seriously injured and taken to hospital. The vehicle caught fire upon impact, making rescue operations a challenging task. The Transport Ministry extended its condolences to the affected families and assured a full inquiry into the crash. The South African government said it will assist in repatriating the bodies as the authorities urged responsible driving, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his message, urged citizens to ensure road safety. Former South African President Jacob Zuma was involved in a car crash, but he was not hurt. Authorities said his official armored state vehicle was struck by an intoxicated driver on Thursday night. A prominent figure in his MK party claimed that he was the victim of a targeted attack. Ahead of the general election in May, he is running for office as a candidate for the MK after he was suspended by the ruling African National Congress. The car was struck on a route in Zuma's native province of KwaZulu-Natal, while he and his official protection crew were inside. The British Army has lifted the ban on its officers and soldiers having beards, but the moustaches and beards need to be well groomed and tidy. The Army is the last of the armed forces to permit its members to grow beards, and the regulation takes effect immediately. An Army official said that the decision was made after a multi-month investigation into the Army's appearance policy. After reviewing the results, the Army leadership decided to alter the policy. It is believed that Army commanders are hoping that the new policy would draw in more applicants. In line with religious beliefs, Sikh and Muslim troops, among others, were previously permitted to grow full beards. A number of foreign forces, including Denmark, Germany, and Belgium, permit its soldiers to keep beards. Celebrated Hollywood duo Christopher Nolan and Emma Thomas have been honored with a knighthood and damehood for their contributions to cinema. Nolan received his first Oscar for Best Director for Oppenheimer, a biopic on the atomic bomb's creator, which Thomas produced. The film dominated the 2024 Oscars, winning 7 awards including Best Picture. Reflecting on the success, he said that winning seemed like an improbable dream. Nolan was previously nominated 6 times without a win. The couple's professional partnership extends to other acclaimed films like Tenet, Dunkirk, and The Dark Knight. Their personal journey began at University College London, leading to marriage in 1997 and 4 children. The recognition marks a pinnacle in their illustrious careers, celebrating their lasting impact on the film industry. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.